But a little bit about myself. My name is Felix Fabula. Felix Fabula III. My son's name is Felix Fabula IV. But my new name is Shayat Osalat Tecuatli, and my son's new name is Wasukaya Osalat Tecuatli. And I'll get into the reasons for our new names. But to begin off, I'm from Fort Worth, born 1987, 12th of July. JPS, lived my whole life just about in the south side, but I did live over here on the north side for a while, as well as every other part of town, growing up here before I left to New York when I was about 17. But starting off, I was always very different than the rest of the people in my family. I've always felt kind of isolated. I always felt very strained out on my own thinking, and I always felt like I didn't really understand the people around me. Even though I loved them and cared for them, they were my family, I still felt somewhat disconnected. My mom was a great mom growing up. My dad, I didn't know my dad. I seen him maybe once or twice by the time I was about 4 or 5, I remember vaguely, but I didn't really see him until I was about 18 or so. So that right there was a strain on the situation that never really fully healed, but I'm at peace with it. My mom, on the other hand, she did great first couple years of my life, or the first decade or so of my life, and my mom had me when she was 15. She was already a mother in her own right, taking care of my grandma's kids. She was the oldest out of the household. And I know that she didn't get a chance to experience life the way that a lot of us get a chance to. Being a teenager, having fun, doing things that you want to do without, having to be a mom or a mother figure. And so by the time I turned 11, my mom seen that I was old enough to take care of my brothers, and she took advantage of the opportunity to get to live her life. And which I understand now, but at the time, it caused a lot of complications for me. It threw me into the forefront as the head of the household, and as the authoritarian, as the teacher, as the mom and the dad. And my mom, she was around, but then there was times when she would disappear for a good amount of time, struggling with her addiction. So I was forced to grow up extremely fast. And at the same time, I'm grateful for that opportunity. It really gave me the strength that I needed to endure some of the later challenges that I was going to go through. So I definitely hold no grudge towards my mom. I respect my mom and love her. We're like best friends now. She always says we grew up together, and I agree with her. She was 15 when she had me, turned 16 like 4 months after she had me. My dad was 14, so that goes to show the experience that they had trying to raise a child. But because my mom was always gone, I fell into a lot of influences within my neighborhood. And it's funny because originally I hated that element. I grew up in the early 90s, and I don't know if all of y'all are familiar with Fort Worth at the time, but it was a different place. Fort Worth has improved dramatically, but those problems and those elements still exist today. But I remember we used to have to move every 3 or 4 months, every 6 months or so. The house would always get shot up. I would see people get shot, and innocent people, catch random shots, and it infuriated me. It made me angry. And like I told my mom, and I told my cousins and my family growing up that I never wanted to be a part of anything like that. I despised it. To me, I thought it was just a bunch of people preying on the weak, and it happened to be their own people, and it just infuriated me even more. But whenever my mom was gone, and then my dad was absent, and then my uncles went to prison or moved off with their life,